Hey everyone, welcome to Pink Floyd Friday. Today I want to share with you actually something a little bit different. I want to talk about my experience at Live 8, seeing Pink Floyd all together with all four members. Something that I tell people in my life when I'm talking about Pink Floyd, when I'm talking about seeing live music and some of the greatest live music experiences, etc. For me, it's an easy number one. Seeing Pink Floyd all together in Hyde Park in London in 2005. And here's my program book that I've of course saved. And only a very small portion of this is talking about Pink Floyd, but there it is next to Paul McCartney. Paul McCartney actually headlined. So in the book here, it's got obviously a picture of all four of them. Pink Floyd back on stage together for the first time in 2 decades, shining on. Pretty nice there. And it has a little bit of a blurb about what's going on here. As reunions go, they don't come much bigger, more spectacular, or, let's be honest, more unexpected than this. This Pink Floyd lineup back on stage together for the first time in 2 decades, shining on. And it goes on. I'd like to talk about my experiences of it, maybe share some photos, and talk about what they played a little bit. Here's a picture of me and my dad, probably well into the day there, and I've got it framed, and we're just having a great time. And there's some other pictures that I'll put up on the screen here, but basically, like, here was me at very early in the morning. We're getting ready to wait in line there. We had been waiting in line, and at a certain point, they allowed us to just start running as close as we could. And apparently, I had the wherewithal to take a photo. But I was running, and I looked to the left and right, and I told my dad, because, I said, I'm going to be running pretty fast here. I said, we'll meet up later. I'll raise my hand. But I looked to the left and right of me as I was running, and thousands of Brits are all running, trying to get as close as we could. There's so many great artists that played there, but my intention is not to go through the whole day. Although it was amazing to see Paul McCartney, truly, really fun to see The Who, and it was just all in all a really, really great evening. But the sense of expectation in Hyde Park with hundreds of thousands of people was real and palpable for Pink Floyd. I remember when they were about to play, I told my dad, again, it was dark, we didn't have cell phones, but I said, I'm just going to be going as far as I can. He said, I understand, go for it. We'll find each other after. So I just squished my way through as close as I can get. And you can't really tell with the videos where, the videos are right up there on stage and you can't really hear the audience that well, but the audience was going ecstatic the whole time. The sense of excitement and energy can't really be captured on a video. And so I remember just everyone just screaming and loving it pretty much the entire time. Comfortably Numb was especially powerful. So I highly recommend watching the performance with that being said, because, it's very amazing to see them all playing together. Let me back up and talk about how I got there. And I think that's a fun story to go through. I was doing a semester abroad in Italy that spring. It's where I formed my first band and released later an EP with that band called Cuckoo Clock, which is available anywhere. All one word, Cuckoo Clock. Cuckoo Clock, in case you want to listen to it. I'm very happy with that EP. That was a very fruitful spring out in Florence time of my life. And then I was in Spain, sort of gallivanting around, and I found a flamenco guitar teacher, and I wanted to learn flamenco. So without any Spanish skills at the time, in Jerez de la Frontera. And my dad and I are chatting one day, and he points me to this article showing that Pink Floyd is getting back together for a one-off concert in London at Hyde Park for Live 8. This is the 20-year reunion to Live Aid, which Bob Gelfand put on for Aid for Africa. And this was a 20-year reunion called Live 8, where they'd have 8 concerts all over the world. The biggest one, without a doubt, was going to be in London, right? And so you had The Who, Paul McCartney, and Pink Floyd all playing there, as well as a bunch of other acts. And so my dad says, do you want to go? Because he's going to soon be arriving to travel with me a bit through Europe. And I totally am just like, I like pause in shock. I'm just like, the thought of going, At first, I don't think it's possible for various reasons, but I'm just like, don't even, don't kid around about this. This is like, this would be so, so amazing. He's like, no, I think we should go. So I look into it and I say, well, Dad, unfortunately, you have to be a UK citizen and you have to win a lottery to go. And, but I'm not going to be that easily deterred. So there's a Craigslist in London and, some people who win the lottery can't go. So, of course, they would like to pass this amazing opportunity on. So I get in contact with someone and he says, yeah, let's meet up and I'll pass on these tickets. So we meet up and we do that. And then basically, because me and my dad are famously not very good at planning necessarily, we forget to get a hotel in London during Live 8. So truly funny. We just go hotel to hotel. Everything is, of course, booked. They're like, yeah, we're definitely booked. We've been booked. We have an influx of 250,000 people coming for this concert, right? So finally, we find one space. We found, in a hotel where they happened to say we just had a cancellation, so we have a room. So we lucked out. It's getting late. We already had our fish and chips. So I told my dad we got to get up around 5:30 because we have to get as close up as we can get. And there's going to be so many people that we're going to be stuck way in the back if we're not up really early. So we get up the next day at 5:30 or 6, get over there. The sun's still rising. I think there's a picture I'll show here of my dad posing with the some of the workers at the park and for the event. And we're excited, but we're a little tired. We end up getting there and we make friends with these guys next to us who are really smart. Everyone's just standing waiting for hours. And these two Brits had lawn chairs, newspapers. They may or may not have had jazz cigarettes, etc. And they were just having a great time. We befriend them, and we end up having a really fun time with them for hours just waiting around. Then when, they finally kind of open the gates, so to speak, so that people can enter the park, I tell my dad, listen, I'm going to get us a spot as close as possible. And I just remember looking and seeing all these people running, and it's just such a funny visual. Everyone just so excited. So that's how we got there, and we had a great day camping out, listening to a lot of good music. A good experience for me to see Pink Floyd in their native soil, in London, in the UK, so to speak, and something that I will carry with me forever. So for this Pink Floyd Friday, it's just nice to appreciate this one-off experience where the band was able to all get together and put aside their differences between Waters and the band. They've all reflected on it with grace and knowing that, it wasn't that complicated to get together for one show that was that important. And to have some rehearsals and to perform once for 20 minutes was something they could manage. So, of course, the show sparked a lot of news and speculation as to, are Pink Floyd going to get back together? Are all the members just going to go on a big tour, make another album? And for anyone who was seriously into Floyd, I think we all kind of knew that probably wasn't going to happen. Now, in retrospect, it's pretty clear to see that Division Bell was their last real studio album in the 90s. And so Pink Floyd was kind of done by Live 8 by 2005 as far as doing new projects. The Pulse live disc release was basically also already released, right? And we know that The Endless River is essentially B-sides from Division Bell. So really, it's exciting. It was an exciting prospect. Oh, is Pink Floyd going to get back together? But Gilmour was pretty set on doing some solo work by then, and so was Waters, right? And I think it was just kind of nice for them to get together for this. And I'm sure they had to deal with the media frenzy of Pink Floyd getting back together, but it wasn't really about that. It was more about this great cause to help countries around the world, and Africa especially, who needed aid. And that's kind of what this was about in the 80s as well. So I'm really happy and proud of the members of Floyd for doing this and putting aside their differences for that show. I think since then, obviously, they've had solo careers, meaning Waters and Gilmour, and they've had moments where they've gotten together here and there for things, but it's been very rare and sparse. So this was a special thing. I'm happy that I got to be a part of it. So I think I'll leave it there, and we'll get back to the music in the future Pink Floyd Fridays, but kind of a fun storytelling session today, and I hope you've enjoyed that, and I'm looking forward to seeing you next lesson. Go ahead, subscribe, hit the bell icon. We'll see you later.